Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs Podcast. This is season 6, episode 17. Andy, tonight's the songs edition.
Yes, back to our regular format. I
We're
appreciate
going to
everybody's
talk.
country
Yes,
music views. Appreciate that. We'll look for something next February, and every now and then we'll do something special for the month. If you have suggestions, please leave
it
them below.
was Sports and Songs Goes Country. The last 4 episodes. Check back in the archive and give those a listen. Good artists.
That's
Today
good feedback on them. Yeah.
Today we're going to do a new one we've never done before. It's fairly new. It's only, I guess the band's only 4 years old, I guess. But
Yeah, they're just babies.
it's the band is called the Lucid. Here's the album. We're going to review this album today. It's their debut studio recording. And let me get this banner here out of here. There it is. Little pinata with the L, their logo for the Lucid. And what this is a debut album by American hard rock band The Lucid, released October 2021 in the U.S. by Spoilerhead Records. The album was recorded in June and July of 2020, shortly after the band's formation. So maybe, is this a COVID band? They needed something to do during
I think it was one of those that they probably always work together. Everybody knows each other. But like we heard from other guys, this is when they had the time to talk about getting together during COVID.
Okay. So the album was recorded in June and July of 2020. Shortly after they formed, the bass and drums were tracked at Heaven and Heller Studio in LA, with guitars and vocals being remotely recorded by Drew Fortier and Vinny Dombrowski at the respective home studios. It was produced by the band's drummer Mike Heller and mixed and mastered by Lass Lambert. Now, the interesting thing is here, it's, Dave Ellefson's in the band, and that's kind of why we're really focusing on here. He's a former Minnesota native. So The initial ideas for the album began in April 2020 during remote demo writing sessions between Drew Fortier and drummer Mike Heller. Mike Heller was with Fear Factory and Raven. Fortier brought in frequent collaborator David Ellefson from Megadeth to track the bass for the demos, which were presented to Sponge vocalist Jimmy Dombrowski, from Sponge. And they completed the lineup. Yep. The band began recording the final album tracks in June 2020, with the album being mixed and mastered in August. And it was released in 2021 in October. In September, right after Labor Day 2021, the band put out their first single, Maggot Wind. Love it. Great name for your first single from a band, Maggot Wind. And late September, they saw the release of their second single, Damned with a D. And early October, the band released their third single, Hair. So January 2022, the band put together their debut music video for Deaths of Despair, along with the announcement of their first live dates for May of 2022. So this is a quick project. They wrote it, recorded it, released it, did release singles, did music videos, and whatnot. So very quick. These guys are all professionals in other bands, so they were veterans. They knew each other, like you said, got it together and whipped it out pretty quick. April 2022 saw the release of the music video for the single Hair. That video was directed by and stars Hannah Fearman. She's been in several things, well known, and she was in that one. May 2022 was announced that Drew Fortier had been diagnosed with testicular cancer, resulting in the cancellation of the band's live dates to promote their debut album. The band then released the music video for their track Mastronaut. So they got together, Andy. They put this stuff together. It was pretty good hard rock music. And then Drew gets cancer, and it's kind of spun on their head. But here's the track listings. There's 9 songs: Maggot Wind, Deaths of Despair, Spoilerhead, Hair, Mastronaut, Damned, Breach Boy, Pigs and Sons, and Parade of Spit. Andy.
Yes.
Total length here, running time is 40 minutes, 55 seconds. I've got no problem with that. 9 songs.
All right.
They're all pretty good. It's Vinny Dombrowski on vocals from Sponge, Drew Fortier guitar, David Ellefson bass, and Mike Heller drums. There's additional musicians brought in for that song Mastronaut. There was an orchestral arrangement and strings on that song. Overall, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. They released an EP, I think, a couple years later, but this is their single studio album, the only one that they have out there. Pretty good artwork there on the cover. I'm not going to call it a super group, but these guys have been around. They're veterans. What are your thoughts on the album, Andy?
I kind of like these groups where they're not, like I said, they're not super groups. The guys who got together, they did an album, not for fun, not to say, hey, let's see if we can do it. You had some ideas, someone had the money to back it. You release an album. I'm okay with these. And these are ones and stuff like this where, yeah, you got your Spotify's and your other stuff to go to. This is one you want to go buy and get because you know it's going to be a one-time deal. Not for the value of the resale later, but just it'd be cool to have because all their stuff you get later online is be the remastered and re-this and re-that. You're not going to get a lot of original copies of this anymore. So this was one I'd go out and get the original. Or if you find the original online, download it, pay the money, give the band the money, download it so you don't get the remastered or here it was live at a benefit concert later on. No, I want
a deluxe edition.
Yes.
So Andy,
the bonus tracks on the Japanese version or something.
Yes, the genre here is hard rock and alternative metal.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. It's a little alt, and the label is Spoilerhead. So they make a song. Song 4 is Spoiler, or song 3 is Spoiler Head. Now the interesting thing here, Andy, with 9 songs on a debut studio album, they released five singles: Maggot Wind, Damned Hair, Deaths of Despair, and Mastronaut. So 5 of the 9 songs are released. They're out there. I don't know how much airtime or radio play this stuff gets, but like I said, it's not bad. I listened to the album. It's pretty good. It's all veterans. Ellefson, anything Ellefson touches, of course, I'm gonna I think, with the bass work on this. But what are your thoughts on the drums, the guitar work, the vocal?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent. I listened to it a couple times. They're all professionals. It was like Ellefson got a bunch of studio buddies of his together and did an album, wrote his name. He was actually, I think, the 4th guy added to the band, so it's not like it was his project.
He came in later or last of all. He had recorded.
So other guys have been working already. It was their thing. He came in, dotted some I's, crossed some T's, stuff like that. So
it sounds like he recorded the bass tracks just as filler as they look for a bassist, and they just said, "Look, let's just go with you and be done with it." So, and they had some live shows. This would have been a good band to see live. Some of the shows were canceled, and but it's very interesting. It's one of those that flies below the radar, of course. But for the music aficionados out there, I think you'll get a kick out of this one.
It's a good one. Yep.
That's all I've got, Andy.
Okay, here we go. I'll go to my section of the world here.
Yeah.
There's the new logo. We debuted it on the sports episode Monday. Ta-da.
Looks sharp.
Weird Al Yankovic, September 11th up at the Lodge Amphitheater. So there you go. Just get your tickets now. Folsom. Okay, I've been trying to say this without messing up. Folsom Prison Experience at the Fitzgerald Theater. Do not say that 3 times real fast. October 24th. We saw this about a month or 2 ago. Very good show. Highly recommended. If you see Jay afterwards, tell him we said hi. He's a friend of the show.
Yeah, he did like your post when you put this out there. He liked it. Jay Ernest is the Johnny Cash. Very good show.
All right. Eric Clapton, John Mellencamp for one night only at Medina Entertainment Center. Not the real guys, tribute bands.
Nice.
This would be kind of interesting to see. March 28th. Also, we are going to be at another event that night already, so we can't make that one. But kind of interested to see the John Mellencamp tribute. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. The key word is interesting. With all these tribute bands out there, then the combination, this would be a hoot, I think.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Bruce Dickinson is touring the U.S. and Canada. And I noted there, I didn't list all the dates, but September of 2025, the 28th, he'll be at the Uptown in Minneapolis. So if you're a Dickinson Maiden fan, there you go.
Awesome.
Hart, An Evening with Hart, June 7th in Hinckley. Now, I put the story up on our social media. I didn't read the whole one yet. Nancy Wilson is in a wheelchair. She performs these. Her health is maybe real shaky right now. I mean, she's not on death's door, just she's wheelchair bound. So don't get, too sad for her. We love you, Ann, but take care of it.
Was it Nancy or Ann?
Ann, I'm sorry, I said Nancy earlier. Ann is the one in the wheelchair. She's saying
Ann is. Oh, I did not know. Okay.
Yeah. I saw this like just a few minutes before we came on, so I haven't had a chance to read it. Ann is in a wheelchair. Everything's going good. Nancy just had a birthday the other day. Band is doing well. They're doing a couple dozen shows throughout the country. So give them a listen. Hinckley, Minnesota.
That is probably so. Is that at the outdoor amphitheater? I think.
I think they'll probably be outdoors. It's a June 7th show, so I wouldn't be surprised if we went outdoors. So
okay, that would be fun to go to at the casino there.
I know this is a long way out, but the summer comes up fast. You got to get those weekends cleared off. Saturday, July 26th, Dust and Bones is at Floyd's Bar in Victoria.
Very fun. They will have a hoot. I think they'll have a blast at that place.
Saw them there last year at Floyd's. It was pretty good.
Okay, I have
They're
not.
Good group of guys.
And this is another one that this will be outdoors, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Volbeat is set to announce a new album. I did not see anything come out today. I was kind of they didn't look real hard for it. It's kind of popped here and there. Volbeat's a pretty cool sounding band. I've been listening to them here and there. I don't own any of their stuff. I do have them on some of my playlists on Spotify. I don't turn them off if they're on. If you haven't, kind of a sidebar homework assignment, check them out. Check out Volbeat. Listen to some of the other stuff. Very cool band. Very cool sounding European band. Yes. All right, here we go. Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, their kids, Evan Stanley and Nick Simmons, have been working together. Suppose you kind of grow up together. You both kind of get into music. I know Evan's been into music a long time, Paul's son. Nick, I think, has just kind of been around it, dabbled in it. I know his sister was at some shows and did some European stuff. Is this just a thing? I know Evan takes his music seriously. I don't know how serious Nick is, but I would be very curious because if Nick Simmons, Tweed Simmons, whatever he goes by for a name, if he's going to put his name out there, Gene's going to go over it and make sure it's good. He's not going to let his kids put some crap out there. So
I agree. I think this would be, I would also be interested in this. Just the key word would be interested to see what this sounds like.
I've heard some of Evan Stanley's stuff. He's pretty good. He's all right. Full details to see at the iHeartRadio.ca for that story. That's why I didn't look too far into it. If the only story is on iHeart and it's the Canadian one, and did they do a song together? And now they're saying they're making, who knows? Just keep your ears and eyes open for something like this coming up. Just got one more thing here. Wrap up our little show today. The first CD player, Sony CDP-101, was released in the U.S. in 1983 at the tune of around $750. First music album on CD was Billy Joel's 52nd Street.
Wow. Now that's a good trivia question.
Yes.
And maybe that's come up before. I think we've heard of that.
Yeah, I know we've posted it before. I don't know if we mentioned on the show, but
that is great.
$750 for a CD player. Now you can electronically, what can you get for $750? A lot. You can buy a decent computer, laptop, and download how many songs for $750? So that was a $750 for the machine. I do not have what the price of the first CD was, but Billy Joel's 52nd Street, the first CD.
That's a great Cliff Clavin, a great tidbit of history there.
And I'm a big Billy Joel guy. I like Billy Joel. He's had his health issues and drinking issues in the past. I'm not going to hold that against him. Yeah, he's a homer and stays just in New York and plays at Madison Square Garden all the time. Cool, whatever. I have had the chance to see him a couple times. Very good show. A great entertainer. I saw him when he could still perform. But like a lot of guys, he said to bring in backup singers because he just can't hit those high notes anymore. He had backup singers when I saw him towards the end. And this was 25 years ago, you know? So, yeah, it was pre-marriage, yes. So just over 25, 30 years ago. Great show. Still did good. Just the high notes he couldn't hit. The rest of the notes he was hitting just fine.
Okay.
Like the Innocent Man and some of those high notes. Whew. He even when he recorded it, he just kind of gave it all just done the recording back then. But yeah, if you get a chance to see Billy Joel, good show. Good double back to the Dust and Bones show at Victoria at Floyd's. That season is coming up. Yes, we had a foot of snow the other day that melted by noon, it felt like. But watch your summer schedules. You're gonna have your town ball dates coming up. You're gonna have your concerts at the bars coming up. Just check before you book your camping trip. Check with your favorite bars, see who's playing there. Check your favorite bands.
Also
Drop
check
a note,
out
the bowl out in
Shotgun
Shakopee. Check with us. Send us a note going, hey, do you know where so-and-so's playing? And not to brag, most tribute bands in the town, in the cities here, we know at least one member on the band. We can find out for you, Okay, and when I say no, we're friends on Facebook or we follow each other, but we could find out for you. So if you're questioning, you want to make sure, hey, I'm going to be out of town. You guys aren't playing and where. So
the patio shows are always fun. The outdoor shows at the bars and pubs and always good stuff. This year, the Canterbury Park also opens up their amphitheater, I think in June or July. That'll hold 19,000 fans for outdoor concerts. So we'll be heavily following that as well. But you know what it is? It's March 6th. When April rolls around, it's going to be nice weather. So it's going to be good stuff.
Spend the day golfing or going to a town ball game and hit the bar for a concert that night. Sounds like a great Saturday.
It's solid. All right. We'll see you next week, everyone. See ya.
Bye.